to the Salesforce Developer Studio. So this is the third video in the series. In the previous video, we looked at the topics and actions which are the building blocks of an AI agent. Now in this video, we are going to look at a custom topic and a standard action. And before we go there, we'll just look at a small recap of the previous video and then we'll directly jump to the demo. In the upcoming videos, we are going to see specific examples of how to use an Apex class with an AI agent, how to use a flow, and how to use a prompt builder. So let's talk about the example. So if you remember the last video, it's just a continuation of that. So when a user gives an input, for example, the user needs to book an appointment, the agent comes into picture. Now, what the AI agent does is, first of all, it needs to know what category or what theme the user is referring to. So, for example, we have four topics here: case management, appointment scheduling, opportunity management, and survey management. Now, because the user has asked about an appointment, because of our instructions or prompts, the agent would be able to figure out that the user is talking about appointment scheduling. Once the agent is able to do that, there could be multiple actions related to appointment scheduling. So here we have four actions: reviewing the appointment, updating the appointment, canceling, as well as creating a new appointment. Now, because the user has asked to book an appointment, again, because of the prompt or the instructions that we provide, the agent would be able to figure out that the user is talking about creating an appointment. Okay, and once that is done, then comes the normal Salesforce development part, wherein you need to write an Apex or a flow to actually create an appointment, filling out all the necessary fields using automation or user input. So as you can see here, 50% of the work is related to prompt, where we need to give instructions to the agent when we are configuring the AI agent. And the rest of the 50% belongs to the actual development work, where we need to use our Salesforce experience and knowledge to build the customization. Now, Salesforce also provides some standard actions so that we don't need to write a flow or an Apex for everything. And that's what we are going to see in the demo. So let's quickly jump to the demo. All right. So in this demo, we are going to see another AI agent in action. Now, as you can see, we are in Agent Builder, and here we have multiple topics. One of them is to fetch case details, and another one is to fetch product details. Now, both of these actions or both of these topics are using standard actions. So even though the topics are custom, if I open one of these topics and go to the actions tab, I can see these standard out of the box actions, like getting the record details, which means all the different fields of a specific record based on the record ID. Then also we have aggregate queries, which help in finding the aggregates like minimum, maximum. Then we have identification of a record by name, and we also have querying records. So all of these are standard actions, and based on the input that we provide, these would be taken care by the agent itself. All right. So now let's do one thing. Let's first start with a demo, and based on that, I would explain the instructions that I've given on the topic and also on the actions. So let's say we are talking about the product details, right? So let me just type in I want to know about the products. Okay. So now the agent would decide on itself which action to choose. And one of those standard actions, it's going to choose maybe the querying action or getting the record details. And then it's going to show us the output. So as you can see here, we are seeing some of the sample products and some of the sample fields related to it. And in the end, the agent also mentions, if you need more details about any specific product, please let me know. So let's go one level deeper and let me ask, tell me more about Wilson. So that is the third product here or the fourth product here. So let's see if it can fetch any further details about that specific record. So as you can see here, we are able to see some of the details. We are also able to see an image of the racket here. And again, we have follow-up questions asked by the agent. Now, this is how the output looks, but let's see how the agent is able to figure out all of these information by looking at the session. So if you can see here, my first prompt was, I want to know about the products. So as we have two topics and we mentioned products, the agent was able to figure out that we are talking about the product topic, right? So it's able to fetch or call this topic, which is fetch product details, and within it we already gave him 7 instructions, and based on that there are 4 actions. So let us see which actions are provided. All of them are standard, and it automatically picked up the query records action. And if you can see, fetch all details about product from product details object. So product details is the API name of the object, and here you can see all the records and details were fetched. Now if we scroll down, let's see our second prompt, tell me more about Wilson. So now it needs specific details. So again, the same topic was called because it retains the context. So it knew that we are talking about the product, right? And this time it picked up the get record details standard actions because we were talking about one specific product. Now, because we were able to select a specific product from the list, it was automatically able to fetch the ID of that record. And based on that, it was able to calculate or query all the different fields, and it also provided us with the output, and the output also had an image. Now how did this image appear, and is there something that we need to take care of when we provide such instructions? That's what we are going to see now. So now that we have looked at the demo, let's go to the topic. So if you see here, this may have some repetitive stuff, but let's focus on the things that we care about. So when I talk about the scope, you can see your job is to get details about a product from the product details object based on the actions that you have, and provide the output in HTML format based on the input from the user. So this is the scope. So it's not going to go outside of this boundary. Okay. If you don't know about scope and instructions, I think we covered some of that in our previous video. Now let's talk about the instructions here. So if the user requests detail or information about product, use the query related actions and fetch all the details you can. If you're unclear, ask follow-up questions to the user. Choose the actions carefully. Try to infer from input provided by the user. Try to catch signals, clues, keywords, as the user may not be able to provide exact details. Now, why we are writing this is because maybe the user is not sure about the specific product. So, for example, user may say headset in place of headphone. So, you need to be able to infer this as a similar product, and it should also work, right? Then we have another instruction which says provide the response in HTML format. Now, here is a very important instruction. Refer to the product details object for fetching the records. Now, as you know, in Salesforce, we have standard product object as well, which is product 2. So we don't want the agent to look for those records because we already know our use case. So we have to mention that as an instruction that you need to refer to product details object and not the product to object. And also please do not provide any record IDs in the response. All right, so these were the instructions in our topic, and based on that it has provided us with this input. Now one more thing that we can probably look at is the query records beta. So an important thing to note here is because we provided the instruction to provide us the response in HTML format, it was able to display this image. Now, how is this image coming here? This is coming from a flow. So what we have done is in the back end, we have the product. It's an object. It has some records, right? And it has all the details. And there is a field wherein we are populating this image of the racket. And because it's in HTML format, what it's able to do is it's able to fetch the records from the flow that we have written, and based on that, it's able to give us the image. Now, what it means is, if you are writing a custom flow, let's say a lightning flow, and if you know in the lightning flow we have an option to provide text templates, right? And in the templates you could also provide HTML content. So if you are able to do that, then it will be able to refer to that HTML comment and provide you a response in HTML. What that means is you could possibly solve for the use cases where you want to display a sort of a table to the user, and also show some colors or bold text, italics, whatever you need. So basic HTML is supported in this response. So I hope you like this demo and you're able to understand all the topics and actions that we referred in this video. Thanks for watching.